children. Today we are going to learn the last part of the transportation in plants, that is translocation of food through phloem in the plants. Yes, the tissue which translocate the food is phloem. Now before entering into that part, quickly recall the previous section, that is the transportation of water through xylem, because here again the xylem will be coming, so it is very important to recall that part of the transport. Yes, now you know that these are representing the soil particles, and this is root hair through which the water will be absorbed, mineral will be going through the root to the root. Okay, and from here till here it is representing the cells of the root, epidermal cell, cortical cell, and so on. I told you already that cortex will have many cells, and later at last it will reach the xylem, which form a pipeline at the center of the plant. Yes, this we have already learned. Now what you people have to understand is, yesterday I told you, whenever the water enter into the root hair, okay, first it will enter into the vacuoles of the root hair through diffusion, and from there the water enter into the root cell by cell. It will enter into the root through a process called osmosis. And I told you when I was telling about osmosis, it is always the water will move from high water potential, high water concentration to low water potential. Now here, why that water concentration is less in the epidermal cells, so that the water can move to the epidermal cells through osmosis. Let us see one of the reason why the water is less in the epidermal cells of the root. Okay, now you know that the roots will absorb not only water, but it also absorb minerals from the soil. And you have to remember, children, the absorption of minerals by the root is active absorption. I have already explained you what is active absorption, which require energy, which utilize ATP. So by using the ATP, you can see here this arrow mark, and this is depicting the flow of minerals from the soil into the epidermal cells of the root. Now the mineral particles, okay, I have represented in black dots. I hope it is clear to you, the black dots. So these black dots are representing the minerals. Now minerals is acting as a solute in the cytoplasm of the epidermal cell, and as this solute, minerals have absorbed into the epidermal cells, minerals are more in the epidermal cell. Naturally the water, the solvent, is less in the epidermal cell. The blue dot is representing the water concentration. So the water concentration is less, mineral concentration is more, because it has absorbed minerals by active transport. Yes, now you have to compare the water which is present in the water, let us see with the blue, the water which is present in the vacuole and the water molecule which is present in the epidermal cells. Since this is absorbing water by diffusion, this got many water molecule, whereas in the epidermal cells the water molecule is less. So high water potential, it will move into low water potential. High water potential, where water is more, into water is less. So through osmosis, through a semi-permeable membrane, the cell membrane acts as the semi-permeable membrane, and it will move into the epidermal cells. Once it reaches the epidermal cells, the molecules of the water is increasing. The molecules of water is increasing. The blue dots are increasing because it has entered into the epidermal cell. Now if you see here, the water molecules are comparatively less in the next cell than the epidermal cell. So the water will move from this high water potential to the lower water potential. This way it goes on moving from one cell to the next cell till it reaches the xylem. This I have already explained in the previous one, but I did not talk about the mineral absorption. So I just want to make it clear why this have less water molecule initially. That is because of the mineral absorption by using ATP, which is called active active transport. Rest all are passive, but mineral absorption by the root is active transport. Active is from actually using the ATP molecule. Yes, children, with this you know that the water will be transported to the xylem, and we know that in the xylem with the help of root pressure, transpiration pull, how the water will be flowing in upward direction and it will be supplied to leaves. Yes. Now this is we have already learned. Now let us come to translocation of food in plants through phloem tissue. Now you know that phloem is again a complex tissue which are made up of 4 types of cells. Yes, can you tell the 4 types of cells? The phloem parenchyma, phloem fibers, sieve tubes and companion cells. Phloem fibers, phloem parenchyma, sieve tubes and companion cells. Out of the 4 types of cells, the main one which involved in the translocation of food is the sieve tubes. You can see here, this is the sieve tube, this tube is the sieve tube, and one more which gives support to that is companion cells. So the main 2 cells involved in the translocation of food in the phloem is, one is sieve tubes and the another one is companion cells, which is beside the sieve tubes. Now you see the sieve tubes, children. This is one cell of the sieve tube. This is the another cell of tube from here to here. So in between one cell to another cell, you can find a disc-like structure which is called sieve plate. One sieve tube, one cell of the sieve tube is separated from the another cell through a plate-like structure which is called sieve plate. And this sieve plate will have pores on it, holes, perforations, the pores on it, so that the material can move easily. Yes, children. So this is the sieve tubes of the phloem and this is the companion cells of the phloem. Beside this blue one is xylem. This is xylem. You know that both lie side by side. Now this is the phloem, mean this will be the xylem. Both will be running the side by side at the center of the plant body. So I just represented the xylem here with blue one and the phloem, the sieve tubes with the black one. Okay, and companion cells of the phloem again with the blue one. I hope the picture is clear. And let us see now how the translocation of food will take place. Now you know that the leaf is the part of the plant which will perform photosynthesis and produce food. Yes, and when it will produce food, okay, it will be in the form of, let me remove this. When it will produce food, you all know the plants produce food in the form of glucose. And we all know that it immediately gets converted into starch. Whenever it gets stored, it will be in the form of starch, because starch is more complex form of a sugar and it's insoluble in water. So it can be easily stored. It is insoluble in water. So whenever it's stored, it will be in the form of starch. Now, after this, whenever this the plant want to distribute the food which is produced by the leaf, this starch will get converted into another sugar called sucrose. Sucrose. It contains 2 carbohydrate molecule. Glucose is the simplest carbohydrate molecule, whereas this is, we call it as disaccharide. This is mono. It contains one carbohydrate molecule, whereas carbohydrate in the sense it contains the one glucose molecule, whereas this contains disaccharide. It is little complex than glucose. Now you may ask why this is getting converted into sucrose, because whenever the plant distribute the sugar, it will be in the form of sucrose. The circulating sugar in the plant is always sucrose. Why? Why not glucose? That is because this form of the glucose or the sugar can carry more energy. It is an efficient energy carrier comparatively to glucose. One of the reason is that. Second reason is it doesn't react with other molecules and form any other compound. Whereas glucose, there is a possibility while it gets distributed, it can react with other molecules and form intermediate compounds. Whereas this will not react with other. So two reasons, it is an efficient energy carrier and it doesn't react with other materials or other chemicals to form another compound. So the sucrose will be, so let us take the whatever the foods produced by the leaf is sucrose. Now this sucrose, since this sucrose is produced in the leaf, let us call it a source of the food. From where do you get the food? The source of the food is leaf in the form of sucrose. Now from the source, this food should reach every part of the plant body, but first it should reach the storage tissue. Wherever the food gets stored is called storage tissue, and that storage tissue, let us call it a sink. So leaf is the source. Wherever it get deposited or stored is called sink. Now the food should move from the source into sink. Sink can be an underground part of the plant like potato, yes, or it can be an underground part of the plant like this. Let us see, this is the potato, or it can be a fruit. It can be anywhere where the food gets stored, and that is called sink. So the food should move from source into the sink. How does it happen? With the help of this tissue, through phloem, the transport will take place. Now we are going to learn how it get transported. Let us see, the leaf is having the sucrose. Leaf produce sucrose by photosynthesis, and that sucrose, first it will be, transported to the companion cells of the phloem. Now this transport is again active transport which uses ATP. By using ATP, it get transported into companion cells. Once it reaches the companion cells, from the companion cells, this sucrose will move into sieve tubes. This is again passive. Only from here to here it is active. Rest all are passive, because here you will have more glucose. It will move into the sieve tubes. Sucrose, not glucose, sucrose. So it will move into the sieve tubes. Once this glucose molecule or the sucrose molecule move into the sieve tubes, from the companion cells, please see the arrow mark. From the companion cells, food is moving into the sieve tubes. When the food molecule, sucrose molecule, which act as the solute in a solution, the water is present in the phloem, so here more solute is entering. The sucrose is entering. Due to this solute is more, the beside you have xylem. Beside you have xylem, and what do you have in the xylem? Water. So the water is high here, water is less, and sucrose is more, solute is more. So the water will move from high concentration to low concentration. Again osmosis is taking place. It will move from xylem to the phloem. Why it is moving? Because you have high water potential here, low water potential here. Why low water potential? Here the sucrose is more, not the solvent, not the water. So the water will move from xylem to the phloem. It will enter into the sieve tubes. Now what happened? The water molecules have entered into the sieve tubes. Once this water molecule, when it enter into the sieve tubes, water is entering into the sieve tubes, the blue dots. Now what will happen is, the sieve tubes, this part, okay, the turgid pressure will increase. You know that when water enter into the cell, become turgid. It will, it will be, becoming, it will swell, what you say that, it will become swollen, right? So the water, when it enters into the into the cell, this become turgid. Okay, it becomes highly elastic in nature, so it will become turgid. So when it become turgid, the turgid pressure will increase here. Because of the water entry, pressure increases. Once the pressure increases, you know that the material move from high pressure to low pressure. So from here, this will move, the sucrose along with water move from high pressure to low pressure to the next cell. From here again, then it will become here more pressure, then it will move from this to this. In this way, from high pressure to low pressure, from one cell of the sieve tube to another cell of the sieve tube, and till it reaches the sink, the storage tissue, the sink. And here the sucrose will be deposited, where it again get converted into starch while it is getting stored. So this is how the transport of food material takes place through phloem. Now you know that this movement of materials through the phloem is mainly taking place with the help of pressure. Pressure of what? Water. Because of water entered, it created a pressure, a turgor pressure. So this theory is called mass flow hypothesis. Mass flow hypothesis, or it is also called pressure flow hypothesis. Mass flow hypothesis, because the water entering as a mass, the mass is, what is mass? The water along with sucrose, the food. So it is flowing from high pressure to low pressure. It is called mass flow hypothesis or pressure flow hypothesis, which was proposed by a scientist called Munch. This is not the Munch, the chocolate Munch. It is a scientist name called Munch. So the Munch proposed a theory called mass flow, which easily explains how the food will translocate from the leaf, from the source to the sink with the help of phloem or through phloem. Hope children you understood this. And here you can see one thing children. Now the food reached the sink. Now that means, suppose this is the source and this is the sink. In this case the source is leaf, and in this case the sink is, let us take tuber, potato, underground part of the root. This is the root part. Now in this case the leaf is the source and sink is the root part. Sink is the root. Now always remember children, the source and sink is relatively, it can change, because from the tuber, when the food is stored in the tuber or in the underground part of the plant body, and whenever the other part of the plant body require it. For example, a growing bud is there in the plant. So, or a new leaf is originating in the plant. It requires energy for growth. That time, from the stored part of the plant, this will reach the, where? The, suppose bud. It will reach the growing bud. In this case, you can see the food source is the tuber and sink is the bud. So we know the flow of food in the phloem is bidirectional. So from here to here it can happen, again from here to upward direction it can happen. So source and sink may change relatively it change. According to the situation it will change. In this case, first the source is leaf, then it reaches the storage tissue. Again from storage tissue, if it wants to distribute to other body parts, then this becomes the source, the other who takes that food is become sink. Yes, so it is relatively changes. Yes children, so this is how the food is translocated through phloem. I will explain this with a diagram again, same diagram, but so like it will become a recap for you. You can see here, this is the, can you say what is this? I have already showed you. This is the sieve tube of the phloem, and these are the companion cells of the phloem. So this whole diagram, this part is the sieve tube of the phloem, and this blue color is the xylem vessel and the phloem. Okay, and in the phloem, and you can see here the green one, this is representing the leaf or the source, where the food is produced in the form of glucose, which may get converted into sucrose while getting circulated. Now when it will get circulated, and you can see it is moving to the companion cells first with active transport, and from there it will simply flow to the sieve cells. Once it reaches the sieve cell, here the concentration of the solute is more, water is less. The food is acting as the solute. So the solvent water is less, but beside the xylem water is more. Water will enter into the sieve. So due to the entry of water, the pressure will increase. High pressure will be created. So it will move from high pressure to low pressure. So in this way, it will move from one cell to another cell, from high pressure to low pressure. What is moving? What is circulating? Sucrose is circulating. And finally it reaches to the sink. This is the storage tissue. This storage tissue can be anything which stores the food. In certain plants it can be fruit, certain plants it can be root, like underground part, potato example. So this is how the food will move from source to the sink through the phloem. So this, and why is it called translocation? In this case, source is this one, sink is this one. Now from here, if the plant want to transport the stored food, sucrose, again into some growing part, this food will move again upward by directional movement. That time this will become the source wherever it is getting distributed, and whoever is receiving the food, like bud or a leaf or whatever it is, that become the sink. So the flow can be downward, the flow can be again upward by directional movement in the phloem. Yes children, and this whole hypothesis is called mass flow or pressure flow hypothesis. Hope you understood. Okay, now if you have any doubts, or there are 3 videos uploaded children, okay, related to transportation in water. First video is an introduction, second video is transportation of water through xylem, and this video, the third one, is translocation of food through phloem. Transport of water through xylem, translocation of food through phloem. So there are 3 videos, and one important question you will get in exam is, okay, differentiate xylem and phloem. I did not give differentiation as points in the video. You should be able to write minimum you will get 6 to 8 differences between xylem and phloem. If you watch this video, understand the concept, you should be able to write the differences, which is a very important question in the exam. Yes children, try to write that, and by Saturday when we have an interactive section, please try to watch all the 3 videos so that if you have any doubt, you can clarify it. Thank you children.